Aquarius in the 10th house. All right, let's get it. Shout out to all my Taurus risings in the building. You may be in an Aries rising. You may be a Gemini rising. All right. But if you got Aquarius in the 10th house, this video is for you. Now let's get right into it. Now, what's the ruler here? Saturn. Saturn is the ruler of your 10th house, and boy, that's a really nice ruler to have in your 10th house. Why? Because Saturn's home in the 10th house. So even though the Aquarius constellation itself is home in the next house, the 11th house, which we'll be covering next in the Signs Through the 11th House series, the influence of Saturn still resonates here. So all the attributes of Saturn that naturally is applicable here, that naturally resonates in the 10th house, Aquarius is able to bring that here. But Aquarius goes through its different functions because it's a different sign than Capricorn, right? So we need to know where Saturn's at. And once again, I'm saying once again because I'm still lingering. My energies from the Capricorn in the 10th house video still lingering. But I said once again because you guys have the same ruler. So Capricorn in the 10th house people, right, and Aquarius in the 10th house people want to locate Saturn in their chart to understand how to expand the 10th house opportunities and possibilities and potential when it comes into, expanding your social status, navigating your career path, building and branding in the 10th house in general. Okay, so as a Aquarius in the 10th houser, wherever Saturn is at, you want to find that area because you're already dealing with a sense of reality in that area. All right, wherever area Saturn is at, it's already a karmic space. It's already because we're already being taught how to deal with reality, and that comes with dealing with certain experiences of restriction, having to know how to discipline, place time into things. Everything has look at reality. Everything, we have laws, we have stop signs, everything is timed. Everything is, you have 9 to 5. Everything is structured and ordered. So when we get into Saturn influences in our natal chart, there's going to be a sense of law. There's going to be a sense of authority and reality in that house. And the more we're able to apply that ourselves, the more the more we'll be able to take authority, shifting things with stability and security in that house that we have Saturn in. The less that we take initiative applying Saturn attributes in the house, the more we'll experience reality and some potential harshness. So we all have that Saturn experience, whatever house we have our Saturn placement at. But when it comes into Aquarius in the 10th house, whatever house that Saturn is at, that's where we want to bring that experience and wisdom to. You may already be seen for your ability to build structure, persevere, deal with time, manage, or have resources in a certain house that Saturn is in because it's attached to your 10th. So the 10th house deals with your reputation. So you may already be seen for your area to build there. Let's say you got Saturn in the 5th house. If you got Saturn in the 5th house, we know the 5th house, the creative house. So let's say you're into something creatively with Saturn in the 5th house, you definitely, 9 out of 10 times, this person, if they don't have really bad Saturn activity like squares and oppositions, whatever, even if they do have it, but just saying, if that Saturn is operating in the 5th house the way it's supposed to be operating, when it comes into the practical aspects of the creative endeavor, the advertising, the marketing, the mastering the art, the music, let's say it's music mastering and getting the the vocals right, putting money into budgeting and campaigning the music video, how you're gonna Saturn in the 5th house not playing about none of that because it's not placing its time and its resources into things with no ROI. God damn it. Where's my return on investment? Okay. Ain't putting all this time into nothing for nothing. So your ability to manage structure, the music, you fuck around, get to music management in the 10th house. Probably had you a homie or something that was talented. You was doing all of that for them on the side, and then you just end up getting to management. Start managing other artists. You got Saturn in the 7th house. In some type of shape or form, you are going to experience this understanding how to place, how to develop a realistic outlook on partnerships in your life, right? So understanding how to manage your relationships in general, manage partnerships, understanding how to network, understanding, what people don't have the attributes or the energy needed to add on to something that you're building, who to connect things to, what environment people are going to be at to build, structure things, how your relationships affect your reality, affect your ability to build, understanding. Saturn in the 7th house will make you understand that relationships take time to build, especially worthy partnerships, not just in a romantic sense, worthy business partnerships and all type of connections. So this experience, not just your partnerships in general, your partnerships and relationships in life in general may lead to opportunities in career. Anything relationship based, especially if it's something that you're helping other people manage, anything that you're helping other people manage in a group effort, building stability in a group effort, that could bring a lot of opportunities. You may already be seen as somebody that brings a sense of stability, or is a part, or you're part of a face of something dealing with a group of effort, a group of people. If you got this type of alignment in some type of shape or form, it could even be in a gang. Like, let's say you in a part of a gang, and then if you grew up in a gang or something, that's more like a third house thing. But let's say you're part of a gang or something, you might be seen as the one that got some goddamn sense in the gang. The one that can actually reason and negotiate with the other gangs and understand, look, I don't want to go to war right now. Y'all don't want to go to war. We hate each other, but let's just respect boundaries for now. All right, man? So like, you might be that Saturn in the 7th house. Okay? But your ability to manage, bring structure, stability to partnerships, help bring management to other people's partnerships, be the example of stability in your relationships. All these type of things could be things that you're already naturally seen for in the 10th house, or can be invested into the 10th house that will work in your favor in career. You got Saturn in the 6th house. No, I used this example in the previous video. You got Saturn in the 9th house. If you got Saturn in the 9th house, you're going to be very serious about things dealing with building some sense of philosophy, spiritual ideology, spiritual philosophy for yourself in life. When it comes into your beliefs, morals, and ethics in life in general, whether you it don't matter if you're a black activist or you a skinhead, or it don't matter if you part of the Illuminati. It don't matter if you're an atheist. With Saturn in the 9th house, you serious about it. You feel me? And your 9th house morals, you're experiencing what it is to apply your spiritual beliefs into reality. So these people will truly make decisions in their life, like turn down jobs this, that, and the third because of their religion. And even though that job was a big opportunity and all, like morals and ethics, they get serious about it with Saturn in the 9th house, and they may get into situations where these things are challenged. They can also be an example to others of how a sense of philosophy, experience, or wisdom can bring some sense of knowledge, not wisdom and experience, but a sense of philosophy or knowledge can bring stability to people's lives in different ways. They can be the example of how stability, how a certain experience helped them to get stable and centered in life. All right. So when we look at having the 10th house or the 9th house and the Saturn, all the things that you've gained experience and time. Remember, every house we have Saturn in, there's something that we're going through with a sense of time. These things are going to be, whether it's a philosophy, something that it was just something you was experiencing in general. The 9th house already deals with experience. So you put Saturn in here. Now you have people that will have very concentrated long-term journeys with spirituality, or something they're being educated about, right? This house also deals with education. So this is a strong teacher placement, just having the 10th house or in the 9th house. But anything that you've studied over time, anything that you feel like you've learned or experienced that brings some stability and security to your life, anything that you're doing with teaching, just simply teaching others how to gain stability and security, and no matter what it is, like you're teaching people about a certain job, teaching people how to do real estate, teaching people how to use the internet to make money, whatever it is, that is huge with Saturn in the 9th house. But and I don't want to use so much spiritual examples because not everybody in the world is spiritual, even though they may have this placement. But when you have Saturn in the 9th house, you have to understand you may have experienced something in your life that where now you have wisdom about something. But to others, it may be a sense of stability when you give that off. Just maybe common knowledge and wisdom to you. But you know, sculpting it into something that people can connect to get stability in their life. Any type of instinct to, you know, create things like this with that type of alignment, you know, Saturn in the ninth house, that's big there too, you know. But and these people can also fight for rights too, Saturn in the ninth house, because Saturn deals with restriction. So when people are placing restrictions on either people's philosophies, things dealing with spirituality, people's beliefs, abortion and things like this, Saturn in the ninth house, they set up that motherfucking they will set up that petition, that rally. They ain't serious. They get practical about it. Hold on, gang. My speaker just did some funny shit. You know, it's Mercury retrograde, y'all. It's funny because I've been watching some content creators. I've been watching their gadgets act stupid during live streams, and I'm like, man. And they say astrology ain't real. See, my phone tripping right now. I'm gonna just, hold on, I was about to just keep it going. Hold on. I just like my vibes in the back, you know. I'm gonna leave her music is everything. All right. Ooh. All right, I'm back in the vibe now. All right, now let's get into it. So, Aquarius in the 10th house, Saturn's a ruler, boom, Saturn. Now, remember Uranus. Now, Uranus is also significant here because Uranus has co-ownership, co-rulership with Aquarius. So, wherever Uranus is at in your chart, you're going to be having your individuality, you know, molded and developed in that area through different series of transformation and going against the grain and having to fight for your, you know, aspirations or individuality in general in that area. So these things get trickled into career, Aquarius risings. These things get trickled into career, okay? So Uranus deals with transformation and because of the sense of individuality. But when it gets into the 10th house, this is why these people can be very changeable in career. These people can be very changeable in career, and their career can transform a lot. So these people could be, you know, I was into journalism, then I got into media, then, you know, I got into music management, then I got into sports management, and then, you know, eventually I took the money from sports management, started getting into real estate, then I made a course to teach other people how to do real estate. So now I just manage a couple of high profile artists, you know, just a couple, you know, I don't take too many, about 3 or 4. And then, you know, I just, you know, flip houses. Like, goddamn, your social status, where you navigated 10,000, that shit went through a number of transformations. And your individuality gets challenged here as well too. So whether you in the spotlight or whether it's your company or whatnot, you may just Aquarius 10th house. We just have a tendency to do things in our own way and think about things in our own way, especially if you have Aquarius placement. So with this alignment, so you can be very vocal and expressive and communicative either in your workspace or within your 10th house space, and whoever you are in the world and what you do. You guys can be very expressive and really wear the face for something that's original, unique, but also opposing and against the grain. And that can bring a lot of transformation in your 10th house as well. You could be the person that comes in with very progressive ideas for your company or a group or a community, and it's very progressive ideas and things that are needed, but for some reason you could get the who are you energy. Sometimes people could look at you in the 10th house like, you know, you think you're better than others, but, you know, tapping into Aquarius in the 10th house, there's always going to be, this person is going to be influenced to think outside the box when it comes into 10th house aspirations. And sometimes, you know, it may take ruffling a couple of feathers on their journey of doing that. So you guys got to make sure you're not projected on in this area, especially if you got some expressive placements. You got fire placements, you got air placements, you got sun, moon, Mercury in this house, Mars in this house. These people are very vocal about things that they stand for in the 10th house, and they could gain a lot of expansion and light and attention and expand their social status in general with how they do these things. So social status is very changeable, may transform a lot, can adapt opportunities based off who you surround with, because we know Aquarius is dealing with, you know, outside, you know, relationships, the outside world, you know, the outside environment, more business relationships, associates, community groups, networking spaces, community through the internet, technology. So just having that presence in your 10th house, you always gotta be all ears when you got Aquarius in the 10th house, because you can walk into a lot of opportunities just based off who you're around, who you know, and being able to be a sponge, you know, when you're in the 10th house space. So you could be somebody in an internship, or you could be somebody that's inexperienced in a expanded in a huge environment, and you can learn so much just being in that space, having Aquarius in your 10th house. When you jump in the 10th house space, it's the unknown, but it's also a strong theme of, you know, abstract thought, you know, outside influence. So the ability to network and the connections y'all make at the workplace, and sometimes y'all get into the work. Sometimes, a lot of times, people with this alignment, you guys Taurus risings can have an aspiration. Like, let's say it's a Taurus rising beauty. What's something with beauty? Like, Taurus rising wants to be a beautician or something, right? Wants to do whatever. I guess it's people that do makeup, whatever. Somebody that does makeup, and they're makeup artist or something. And they have this huge aspiration to be a huge makeup artist and then eventually they start working with celebrities, and a lot of things they envision starting to come to life. They're doing makeup for, you know, high profile celebrities and events. And then they start seeing the reality of how certain celebrities' personalities are, and the politics and in their industry, this, that, and the third. And they start, Aquarius in the 10th house, you're gonna get that reality check with how connections, partnerships, relationships, politics, media, propaganda, this is all Aquarius. You get the meat and potatoes of all of that in career. And this what molds a lot of your individuality. This what can mold some very rebellious moments when you probably take a red pill moment and realize the reality of something in your industry, or partnerships, or people that you're amongst in your 10th house space. So, you know, this can really mold a lot of that strong Uranus presence in the 10th house, but this is the Uranus influence. But once again, a lot of these experiences in the 10th house that you go through in this space with interactions with others can really lead you to more of a individual space and wanting to govern things on your own, or within your own tight-knitted sacred you know, social circle or whatnot. You guys can, you know, unconventional, unique career influences in general, yet controversial, as we pretty much just said. You guys can manifest a lot of, like, just that sense of individuality just leads to controversial outlooks, especially if you guys have a voice somewhere, all right? But it also comes with having Aquarius here. Aquarius could channel, you know, messages, and is dealing with communication. And Aquarius could really connect to outside spaces, unknown faces and places, has a really long reach because it's dealing with the collective consciousness. So when you have Aquarius in the 10th house, when you're in a state where you have a voice, you have a platform, you have some type of reach with your message, it is some spiritual responsibility that come with that. All right? Because Aquarius here, you can also rally up a lot of people in your industry, community, or with your 10th house expression. So being able to have a strong sense of community, build a strong sense of community, rally up a lot of people or whatnot, get a lot of people on the same page, there's responsibility that comes with that. And sometimes, depending on your personal desires, your ego is how you utilize that power. But you guys do have a lot of potential to do that. All right, as far as rallying up people with 10th house endeavors. So if you guys have a positive message, or a progressive message, or a self-development you know, influence message, you guys can really build up community in the 10th house. All right, a lot of you guys challenge the mind of others and society in general through your 10th house representation, opportunities from people you know. Check where Saturn's at. So once again, back to like the influence of the networking relationships. Wherever Saturn's at, Pay attention to your relationships in that house, how you can use those relationships to wear something in the 10th house. So let's say you got Saturn in the 6th house, right? And let's say you are a music artist. I'm from the hood, I'm sorry. I'm from the hood. I grew up on hip hop. I be always rat shit with rappers and hip hop on my mind. So when I'm making examples of people like, or career ideas, like always a rapper career aside. That's so ghetto. But when we look at that's why I'm the hood's guru. That's what it is. When we look at, let's say you got Saturn in the 6th house and you are aspiring artist or rapper, and let's say you met somebody in one of your jobs that has an uncle that has a studio or something, or he know how to record music or something. If you know you got Saturn in the 6th house, but you know it's coming out of the Aquarius 10th house, man, you ain't meet that person for no reason. They telling you how they have some type of resource and it can help you with music and whatnot, and you could be a real selective. You already a Taurus rising, so you already picky. So let's say you got more selective ass, picky ass, analytical ass alignments, more fixed placements or something. You might be a little stubborn towards just being open to working with anybody, whatnot. But with this type of alignment, you want to work relationships out your 6th house space and see how they could get, they could potentially resonate with a 10th house aspiration. Never keep that in mind, and you and him end up having the best, chemistry or whatnot. So, shit like that, Saturn in the 3rd house or whatnot, understanding how your close relationships, siblings, can really play a part with something that you're trying to build, connect in the 10th house. All right. Power and control issues in career, fighting for your individuality. Yep, we kind of browsed through that. Understanding when to be used and how to network here. So because you're in this space with relationships in Aquarius and this huge potential for networking and just meeting who knows on any given Sunday, you have to know when to be used too. Like you have to know, and when I say know how to be used, like, it's like, okay, you guys ever seen the movie Pursuit of Happiness? You seen how like Will Smith went to go, he's trying to network, he's trying to do what he can, and then that time he tried to go get the guy to sign with I forgot what business he was trying to do to get clients or whatnot. But he went to the baseball game with the guy. This rich client invited him to come to the baseball game. Whole time he don't care about the game. He just trying to get this client to do business with him. And at the end of the experience and everything, he's like, "I'm sorry, I can't do business with you," and whatnot. In that situation, he was at least allowing himself to be used. Like, he wasn't pressing him. Like, let's say he was just pressing him the whole time about getting the transaction done, being too transactional, and not allowing himself to at least be used in the experience, know how to fit in, know how to, adapt to the environment and the situation, at least, to build a connection, this, and the third. It's like situations like that, you need to know when to be used, even if you may not see a benefit in immediate gain, being able to see the potential in partnerships and relationships, even if it don't look like something to you now. And I'm not even saying that to look at it from a transactional perspective, but, it's just having Aquarius in this space. You just never know what type of people you connect to and bump into in this Aquarius. So you can get a lot of informative, knowledgeable, wise people that you connect to, resourceful people that you connect to, but the flashiness, the persona, the presentation to them, the face on the vessel, that may not be so appealing or whatnot. And it may not be the craziest thing. The expression behind it, that may not be so what you gravitate towards, all right? But what's in here, what they're connecting to, the potential, this, that, and the third, those are just never things to underestimate with this type of alignment, all right? Advice and opportunities from people and environments that are unknown or foreign to you. Don't be reluctant to see what that activity is about. Basically what I just broke down. All right. Strong influence to build community. Okay. Giving the message, spreading a message, broadcasting news can touch a lot of different spaces with their ideology. So like I said, you guys can channel a lot of positions to be a messenger here, especially if you have communicative influences, more communicative influences touching the house. Aquarius is already a communicative ass influence, is an air sign, but say you have Mercury aspecting this house, nice Mercury in this house. One of your luminaries, sun and moon, is in this house. You have other air placements. You have other just strong relatable placements, things trying in this house. Things like that will really manifest a situation where you guys can be the messenger in different type of ways, or wherever the ruler is at, wherever Saturn is at in some type of shape or form, you can channel a lot of, you know, your ideologies or messages or communicate things from this house. So those are just natural influences, how that happens there. You know, Aquarius, real scientific energy, okay? Likes to penetrate the mind, likes to see if it could bend logic in different ways. So, you know, bringing awareness to things about the unknown, you know, Aquarius rules astrology, anything dealing with spiritualism in general. All those things, you guys may fall into those things in the 10th house and have an intrigue for people that are into those things in the 10th house. All right, so let's just cap it off with some celebrities. Hey, with some celebrities. Hey, okay, we got Miley Cyrus. All right, Amy Winehouse. So this is already some controversial 10th houses, like Miley Cyrus, Amy Winehouse, like changeable, Miley Cyrus, transformatable 10th house. She looked like she's been through a little number of careers, a little bit. Looked like she kind of be a little bit rebellious in her 10th house, a little bit too, with her image and representation. But I mean, I don't pay attention to her like that. Just what it looked like from the outside looking in. Amy Winehouse, you know, controversial 10th house, you know, outlook with her story. Will Smith, transformative 10th house, acting, motivational speaker, music, and you know, all the other controversy dealing with his 10th house as well. Gordon Ramsay, all right. Charlie Sheen, Azalea Banks, Machine Gun Kelly, Joe Rogan, Jamie Foxx, Dr. Dre. Look at the sense of individuality, originality, Dr. Dre, you know, his ability to uphold stability in these different, in his different groups or whatnot, you know, was the stability of NWA, was the stability of, you know, Aftermath Records and whatnot, dealing with, you know, Eminem, 50 Cent, you know, he all platinum records, but he's the producer, he's the one that's getting everybody lit, okay? Jamie Foxx, transformative career. Even Dr. Dre too, very transformative career too, controversial career too. So Nick Cannon, all right, done a lot of things in his career as well. So this is what we got going on, guys. This is what we got going on. So let's just look at some squares and opposites. This is something I just realizing now, I didn't really look at the squares and opposites for the Capricorn video, but hopefully it just, the energies from those alignments were expressed through the video in general. But so Taurus in the first house, Aquarius in the Taurus in the first house, you got to learn how to use your personal resources and get in a more relatable space in the 10th house, and not be able to not saying that you hold on to things, you know. Taurus gives and it's a cooperative energy, but it is also earth, and it's slow to move. So in the 10th house, sometimes you got to move and groove and get into these networking spaces. So it breaks you up a little bit to get more loose and relatable. And you will get into them environments once you start getting into a space where you're, you know, striving for something in your 10th house. Then opposite, we have Leo in the 4th house. So a lot of the things that are creative to a Taurus rising can be private. These things can create, these things get challenged in your 10th house to get related. Your ability to express things that you may express in a private sometimes could be why your 10th house transforms a lot, because you get challenged to express things that, you know, are usually private or whatnot. But when you get into 10th house aspirations with Aquarius in there, your true individuality and things, you know, your true inner thoughts and emotions, you know, they get communicated and they kind of get worn here. So that's one thing about, I know for sure with Leo in that 4th house, it challenges the 10th house from that perspective to be more expressive about what's in the private or whatnot. And also learn to use Aquarius in the 10th house to, you know, be a message for those, how to be an example how to deal with the subconscious through some type of expression in some type of shape or form as well. Now, when we go to the 7th house, we have Scorpio here. We have Scorpio. So you can go through obviously a lot of series of relationship Transformations in the 8th house, understanding how to read between the lines, dealing with people. So with all this activity with Aquarius in 11th house, is important to apply all the things you learned with Scorpio in the 7th house of reading between the lines, understanding people have their own individual agendas, self-agendas and intentions or whatnot when connecting, networking, building with others. These experiences help you to understand how to navigate different relationships in your 10th house space, which is going to be full of relationships. Okay. So that's what we got going on. Shout out to all my Taurus risings and Aquarius in the 10th housers. It's the Lucky Libra tuning in and out. Peace.